Hello everybody, this is Craig the Computer Geek here, and I have a very, very special podcast for you this week. I'm up in sunny Sydney at the moment, out in Sydney's outer west, and I'm with Elysa Villareal. Some of you who've watched shows like The Voice and X Factor may have actually seen her or some of her YouTube videos, but I'm very excited today. Some of you may know that I have some involvement with the Filipino community in Canberra, and I do like to help promote Filipinos and other community events. So as I said, I'm very excited to be here with Elysa, and welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Excellent. So Elysa, can you please give us a little bit of a background of where you started in music, what actually got you motivated to sing, and some of the stuff that you've been doing recently?
I started singing when I was 8 years old, when I watched Jessica Maboy on the Australian Idol, and since then I was like, hey, that's what I want to do. When I turn 16, I want to audition for all the shows, but unfortunately Australian Idol wasn't on when I turned 16. But when I was 12 years old, that's when I realized I really have a passion for music.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
That's funny enough. Jessica Maboy was actually on X Factor, was it last night or the night before?
Oh, yeah, she guessed it?
Yeah. So she did that stuff with her secret daughter, and I think sung one of the songs off as well.
Yeah, she's incredible,
Yeah, so that's great. Certainly, someone to look up to. So now that we've got a little bit of background on you, do you mind singing us maybe a few bars of a cappella of just a nice song that people might know, just to give...
Yeah, sure. I'll do a bit of Say You Won't Let Go by James Arthur.
Okay, excellent. Fire away.
Then you smiled over your shoulder. For a minute I was stone cold sober. I pulled you closer to my chest. Oh, you look as beautiful as ever, and I swear that every day you'll get better. You make me feel this way somehow. I'm so in love with you, and I hope you know, darling, your love is more than worth its weight in gold. We've come so far, my dear, look how we've grown, and I want to stay with you until we're gray and old. Thank you.
That's great stuff, Elysa. So you mentioned you started singing when you were 8, and you wanted to get on the X Factor. So what other stuff have you doing now that you're 18 years old now?
Yeah.
So you've been there and you have auditioned. So how did it go, and what was it like meeting I guess other hopefuls that wanting to break into the music industry, but also some of the established stars that are judging these shows?
Because this has always been my dream, and stepping on the stage, and when I was watching it when I was a little girl, I was like, one day I want to step on that stage and I'm going to perform.
Yeah.
And making that happen was an incredible experience, because meeting especially the judges was a dream come true as well, and listening to their advice made me grow more and improve in my craft even more.
Yeah.
And I think the ones who actually want to audition, like you said, I think it's an amazing experience, because it's not all about just singing and all of that. It's like being able to grow as a person as well.
Yeah,
and improving your craft.
Yeah, because there's so many, I guess, people that want to have this passion and this dream that you do, and hundreds, maybe thousands of people. How many people would audition for one of these programs, and what's the sort of, when you get to the I guess the pointy end of the program, what's the sort of rate of people they actually take for these things?
So for example, like The Voice Australia, when I auditioned last year, there was 20,000 who auditioned.
20,000?
Yeah, so making it to the first stage is such a big deal.
How would they actually go through and listen to 20,000 people sing?
I actually don't know. It's a difficult process, very difficult process. Yeah.
Well, they'd have to have quite a few people, not the the main judges, but there'd have to be other people that would have to go in different places around. They don't all come to the one place, they audition?
Yeah, they go around different states.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
And so once you've been, you've got the news that you've made the next cut, so what happens then?
So you go to the next stage, which is the directors, and if you make it through, you'll just have to wait for a couple of hours before they tell you if you've made it to the producer stage.
Yeah.
And that wait is like really nerve-wracking. But
it's starting to get serious then, isn't it?
And once you audition for the producers, you wait for a callback, so that's another nerve-wracking like process as well.
Yeah.
And
okay, so when you did the X Factor last year, so where did you actually get to? What stage did you get to?
Because I auditioned in X Factor in 2012 first, I was 14, and I didn't even make it into the first stage. And that was heartbreaking, but I was like, I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
And then 2015, I auditioned for The Voice, and I was hopeful enough to get through all the way to the live auditions.
Okay.
But unfortunately, no one turned a chair because I was too young, and
So now that you're another year older and another year wiser, what's next in store for Elysa?
Well, now that I'm 18, I'm just finishing all my HSC exams.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be recording my originals next month, November 14. And hopefully I can give out the CDs in the Philippines to a few producers and see how it goes.
But if people want to get hold of your CDs here, where can they get those from? I know you've got some social media you're doing already.
Yeah, if you want to get it on iTunes, I think it'll be available on iTunes by then.
Yeah.
And my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Is
everything.
it Elysa Music, isn't it? Your
Elysa
Facebook
Music.
page?
Yeah. Elysa Music.
Elysa Music, sorry. Okay. Might have a break just for a little sec. Back shortly. Okay, continuing on now. Elysa, I'd like to talk to you a bit now about your family background. You're Filipino. You were born here, or I believe you were born here, weren't you, in Australia?
Yes, I was born in Australia, in Darwin.
In Darwin?
Yeah, in Darwin, yeah.
Okay. When did you actually move to Sydney?
We moved to Sydney 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you always been out here in the outer west?
Yeah, I've always been in the west, yeah.
Okay. And your family background, so your mum, and now you have your stepdad. What growing up, what challenges as a Filipino, and you being involved in the Filipino community now, what can you tell me about I guess the challenges that you've had, and how you've been involved in the community, and what goes on with that?
Because I haven't been in the Filipino community like that very long, I think getting into the Filipino community was pretty difficult in the beginning, especially like getting accepted. Yeah. I think I was more, because I was in a Samoan band before, I was more accepted in the Samoan community. Okay. But eventually I got accepted in the Filipino community. Yeah. So okay. And everyone's lovely. Everyone is lovely.
Excellent. Because there's quite I know there's a lot in Canberra, but in Sydney as well. Many Filipinos out here and out this way as well. But your actual background growing up, can you give us a bit of an insight about some of that?
Both my parents are Filipino, but when I was 3 years old, my biological father passed away from leukemia, and that was a very difficult time for my mom and I. But when I was 4 years old, my mom met my dad now online. I never call him my stepdad because to me he is my real dad. He raised me to be who I am today, and I have 3 beautiful brothers now. So
you were an only child at the time then? At
the time, I was the only child, and there was many bumps on the roads when we were it was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
But we got through it because we kept our faith in God, and then my dad, he came into our life. He raised me. I have 3 beautiful brothers now, and through my music, they've supported me 110%.
That's fantastic.
Until now, yeah.
Yeah, because the music industry, it's not all lights and glamour, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's
mostly hard work.
It is very hard
blood,
work.
Sweat, and tears. You know.
It's like that AC/DC song. Isn't
Yeah.
yeah. So no, I really commend you for persevering even after the knockbacks that you had.
Yeah.
So to be continuing on and kicking
it's
goals
not that
today.
easy, yeah. And there's also a lot of discrimination as well.
Yeah.
And I've gone through that tough time in my life where a couple of local producers were saying that I was overweight. My teeth were very distracting. That's why I recently got my braces. I recently went healthy eating and lost weight and everything.
Yeah.
But to me, I encourage kids to just love themselves for who they are. Especially getting into the music industry.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.